What's up everybody, it's Cama, and in this video what I'm going to be talking about is how to create motivation if you are someone who lacks it all the time. If you're someone who, you feel motivated one day or 1 week, you take one step forward by going to the gym and you're really consistent with your eating as well, and then the next week you just fall off track. And you're not sure why that happens. So I'm going to be talking about why this occurs, and I'm going to give you some practical tips on how you can overcome this. Now this is part 2, so if you haven't watched part 1 of this, then I'll leave a card up the top. And part 2, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper. So in part 1, we talked about how everything is driven by 2 primary needs: the need to avoid pain or the desire to gain pleasure. What I want to talk about here is a little bit more about your subconscious mind and how that could be preventing you from creating motivation, and also I'm going to give you a practical tip. So let me get into it. Here's what you need to understand first. How you feel determines what you do. Everybody knows this, right? There's times where you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling energized, you're feeling sad, or you're feeling stressed, or you're feeling angry, and those feelings determines the actions that you take throughout that day. Now, if you're feeling in that negative emotional state, it's highly likely that you're going to take the path of ineffective actions, such as eating unhealthy food, such as procrastinating, such as watching Netflix and just doing absolutely nothing all day when you have this list of things that you need to do. Everybody's been there. I've been there. Everybody's been there. You're a human being. And here's the thing. Let me preface this video by saying to you, get rid of the illusion that you have to be motivated every single second of the day for the rest of your life. It doesn't happen. I know a lot of people in the health and fitness industry, because I'm in the health and fitness industry, and I've never met one person, out of all the crazy fit people I know, there is not one person that I've met who doesn't stuff up, who hasn't had those low moments and they just turn to food, or they just stopped exercising for a while because they were just going through stress. You're a human being. You're going to feel this range of emotions, where there's going to be phases of your life where you're going to feel sad, where you're going to feel depressed, where you're going to feel stressed. And here's the thing that I've noticed, the pattern that I've seen between healthy people who go through those low moments and then go back up to the high moments, and the people who are unhealthy who go through the low moments and they live there, is that the healthy people minimize the time in those low moments. They get the lesson that they need to feel, they get the lesson that they need to learn, and then they go back to their new normal, which is being healthy. So I just want to preface that. You're a human being. Know that you're going to stuff up. Know that you're going to have those low moments. But what I want to touch on is how you feel determines what you do. And how you feel is based upon what you put in your body and what you do with your body. I'm going to say that again. It's really important that you get this. Let this land. How you feel determines what you do, and how you feel is based upon what you were doing with your body and what you were putting in your body. So let me talk about this. First, let me touch on what you were doing with your body. So let's do a simple test. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being totally energized, 1 being feeling like a sloth. How energized are you right now on a scale of 1 to 10? First number that comes to your head. Maybe you're a 2. Usually people who are watching this video are probably like a 2 to a 5 because you're just sitting down watching this video. Or maybe you're really energized, I don't know. But I'm going to assume that you're 2 to 5. Now, do this for me. If you're laying down, sit up. Or if you're already sitting up, sit up like nice and straight with your shoulder blades back, chest proud. Take a very big deep breath in. And also have a little smirk on your face. Like you have a secret that you need to tell someone, but you can't say it yet. And it's just this exciting news. Put a little smirk on your face like a little kid. Just from that little shift, let me ask you a question. Did you go up in the scale from that little shift in your body? I'm going to assume that it is yes. How do I know this? Because what you were doing with your body is determining how you feel, because motion creates emotion. And you need to remember as well that a little shift in the body will only create a little shift in your emotional state, which determines the actions that you take. So if you want to create a bigger emotional shift, you need to create a bigger physiological shift. So what that looks like is jumping up and down. What that looks like is going for a walk. What that looks like is going for a run. But you may be saying, well, Matt, I don't have motivation to run. How can I create them? If getting the motivation to run is by me actually running, how does that even make sense? Well, I'm going to give you a practical tip in a second that is going to help you put that into action, even if you don't feel like motivating. Even if you don't feel motivated to work out, this little tip that I'm going to show you is really going to make things work easy. So, garbage man is coming, so I need to make this quick. But number 2, what you're putting in your body. So, the foods and fluids that you're putting in your body is determining how you are thinking and how you are feeling. If you're putting Coca-Cola, if you're putting alcohol in your body, if you're putting all that shit in your body, guess how you're going to feel? Shit. Just like the shit that's in the garbage man's truck right now. You're going to feel like garbage. You're going to have garbage thoughts. If you put life in your body, guess what you get out? You get life. You get motivation. You get a feeling of aliveness. So my question to you is, are you putting life in your body or are you putting death in your body? Now, when I'm talking about death, yes, I'm talking about animals and so on, all those type of things, but I'm also talking about processed foods. I like to follow the 80-20 rule, 80% whole food, 20% processed foods. And from that, for me, it works really, really well. And I'm very consistent with my exercise. I'm very consistent with how I'm feeling. I live in these high emotional states. But do I go down? Hell yes, I'm a human being. But majority of the time, I live in this empowering emotional states. And a big part of that is what's going on in my head, but also what I'm putting in my body and what I'm doing with my body. So, I really hope that those 2 tips really helped you out, but I want to give you some practical tips. So number 1 is apply the 5-minute rule. Anytime that you don't feel like working out, if you want to feel motivated, you need to ensure that you apply this rule because not every single time, there's probably been 3 times out of the hundreds of times that I've used this, it didn't work out. So here's what you do. Let's say that you don't want to go to the gym. Let's say you don't want to go to a boot camp. You don't want to do your training session. You have an exercise plan and you're like, fuck this, I'm not doing this, I just want to sit home and do nothing. So here's what you do. You make an agreement with yourself and you say, okay, I'm going to do this for 5 minutes. After this 5 minutes, if I don't feel like doing it, I'm going to take myself out guilt-free because I attempted to do it in the first place. Here's what happens. As you start to do this, and make sure that it's a cardiovascular activity, because I've found that when I just do weights with the 5-minute rule, it doesn't really work out. So you move your body through cardiovascular activity, and you'll notice that from motion, it creates emotion. And you're going to notice that endorphins start to be created, the happy hormone, that allows you to keep on going because you're feeling so good. And it only takes 5 minutes. So that's something that I really want you to do. Get in the habit of doing that. But also, let me talk about this, the subconscious mind for a bit. Anytime that somebody wants to create motivation, yes, this is like I'm giving them some tips on the surface, but on a deeper level, if they apply these tips and it's not working, I'm going to say that 80% of the time, there is this subconscious inner conflict going on that isn't allowing them to express their full potential, that isn't allowing them to feel motivated, that isn't allowing them to stay on track. You may be saying, I don't want to edit this out because I just want to make this like a flow video, so I'm going to leave the garbage man in the background. But a lot of the time, people want to get like tips on how to get motivated, right? And they start to apply these tips and it doesn't work out. And the reason why it doesn't work out isn't because of the lack of information or isn't because the information isn't correct. It is because there is something going on in the subconscious mind that is allowing them, that is causing them to self-sabotage their results, that is causing them to be healthy for 1 week, train for 1 week, and then after that they fall off track. You may have a subconscious inner conflict that you need to remove. And it's kind of like you're trying to get motivation, right? And that's like having 1 foot on the pedal and you're driving forward, you're exercising, right? But then afterwards, you fall off track and that's kind of like putting 1 foot on the brake. And that person, then that foot is always going to go on the brake if you don't remove the subconscious inner conflict. Now, how you do that, there's multiple ways that you can do that. That's what I talk about in my self-mastery coaching program. The self-mastery coaching program is all about removing the subconscious inner conflicts that are holding people back, so then that way they can finally produce the result in their body that they've always wanted. So I really hope that this video helped you out. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought. If you do want to know a little bit more about the self-mastery coaching program, I'll leave a link down below and you can get some more information about it. I'm opening up registration. It's starting in 2.5 weeks. So if you do want to join up, because it's an amazing program, and I can guarantee you, well, I can't really guarantee you because it's based upon the effort that you put in, but I can assure you that if you apply the principles that I'm going to show you. Okay, the video just cut out because of all the videos that I have from Africa, but what I was saying is that if you apply what I will show you in that program, you'll get results. If you apply. So I'll leave a link down below and you can learn more about the program when opening up. The registration is closing in 2 weeks because I'm going to be taking on a very few amount of people to guide through for the next 10 weeks before the end of the year. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I love you guys, and until I see you guys in the very next video, remember to love all living things, and most importantly, love thyself.